Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing? Yeah, we're going to record this podcast this morning because, yesterday my schedule was full, but I still like to, stick to my commitments and make sure that you guys get this information. I believe it's very vital to your businesses, to your daily, your everyday life. And it can pertain to just certain situations that you guys go through. You can tailor these messages that are, for business or for the entrepreneur, but some of these principles and some of these just certain perspectives of these podcast episodes and some of the information that we give you guys can be tailored to your everyday personal life, whether it pertains to small nuggets of emotional intelligence, maybe just the way that you word things. Maybe that's something, just anything that we can do to help you guys to move the needle forward, and take these messages and apply them to not only your business but your daily life. Maybe like company culture. You can create a company culture at work, but you can also take that same model and create a atmosphere at home, a company culture at home. What do you stand for? What does this house stand for? What does this family stand for? What are our core morals in this household? And that same model can be used and it can be tailored to your everyday life and inside your own personal home. And then you can, vice versa. So today we're going to have a good one for you. Let me give you the proper introduction. Welcome to the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson, and this is the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. Good morning, New York City. So we're going to have a good one for you today. This is storytelling as a sales strategy. I said storytelling as a sales strategy. Something just came to mind. So being on the New York City subway, being on the subway here, don't you know that a lot of people don't try to sell things. They may ask you for things, but there are a lot of people that want to sell things as well. Using storytelling as a sales strategy, I believe that's one of the number one sales strategies possible. I don't care if it's from a homeless guy to a corporate businessman. Storytelling will get people involved into who you are. They will make people want to give to you, and they will make people want to buy from you. Don't you know? I seen a Hispanic lady get on the train. She's selling candy. She has her baby attached to her back, and she's selling this candy. But that alone, without that storytelling, you know what I mean? Just that physical visual is a story within itself. Now, you may not know exactly what's going on, but that's storytelling, so you have the visual aspect of storytelling, and then you have the audible aspect of storytelling. But even while she was going throughout the train, she was selling this candy, and then, man, she was just like, just broke me down. She's just like, she's trying to sell this candy. It was like, well, I don't have any cash on me. I didn't have any cash at the time. I rarely keep cash on me. So, but she was just like, please, like, it was just like, you know what I mean? I wanted to buy the whole box and just give them away on the train, but I didn't have any cash on me. She didn't have a card reader. I would have bought everything, but that storytelling, just by her saying please, was basically telling me a story. She was using storytelling as a sales strategy that because you know what I've learned, that people connect with stories, not statistics. You know what I mean? Emotion is what drives buying decisions for me and for my audience as well. So when people look at any one of my companies, any one of my brands, and I'm going to give you an update on the companies, on a couple of our companies as well at the end of this episode for all our clients, our customers. I'll give you, and I will make a public announcement today on social media about a couple of subsidiaries that we have of TSG Global Resource Management Group. I will get that out there to you guys today. So, and this is for the ones who, I know that the holiday season is coming up, and we're having a couple complications with our payment processing system. So we will give you guys an update and let you know, and it kind of gives us time as well. I guess we can use this extra time until PayPal and our payment transaction and processing systems are back up and running. But that gives us enough time to modify our websites and get everything ready to transition into the holiday season. So, it should be up within a day, probably 1 or 2 business days. So by Monday morning at the least, we will have everything else back up and running and get those payments processed so we can get you guys your inventory, especially for the holiday season and especially with Times Square Toy Store. We want to make sure that you guys get those toys for the holiday season. And thank you guys. So but I will make a public service announcement. But that's one thing that I learned, that people connect with stories. People connect with stories. They don't just connect with statistics. See, there's a lot of time where people will be like, okay, well, I see that a lot of people come to this store. This is a high-end store. This is a quality store. This is a quality product. These are quality services, you know what I mean, of a high caliber. So let's go with these guys. But there's also another guy who doesn't have the backing, or he doesn't, not saying he doesn't have the experience, but he doesn't have the brand awareness or the brand visibility as a company that's at a higher standard than he is, that has more visibility, has more of a brand awareness, who's been around for decades. But this guy can come in and tell you a story of why he started his company. Why should you go with him? Instead of the statistics of, we've served 800 families, and out of those 800 families, some crazy statistic that's unreal. Out of 800 families, 900 of those families, we made millionaires. You're like, what? What kind of crazy statistics are those? They don't even make sense. But some people are just overachievers, and they will sell you the statistics like that, man. You guys understand what I'm saying? But there's a guy that comes in with humility and lets you know he's the go-getter. He's got the dog in him. You know what I mean? He's a gritter. You know what I mean? He comes in and he tells you about his story and how he started his company, and kind of gives you a background. That storytelling helps you to identify emotionally with him, his story, and his company and his brand. And I would rather go with that guy because I see something in him that wants to make sure that he not only gets a sale, but he fulfills my needs and gives me services that's beneficial to me, my company, and to exactly what I need to accomplish. So I will go with that guy. So storytelling as a sales strategy is, I believe, the number one sales strategy out there. Besides word of mouth. Yeah, if you just, sometimes when you just do a great job, then someone can go to someone else and be like, man, have you tried this type of food, or have you tried this product? So I believe another sales, that's a marketing strategy, but it can be used for sales, just word of mouth. I believe, word of mouth is the number one marketing strategy, and I believe that storytelling is the number one sales strategy when it comes to products or services for any company or business. Okay, so when I share my story, my brand becomes memorable in a crowded market. So that's one thing that you do when you share your story. Somebody could say that, there is 4 companies. There's 4 outdoor companies that sell ATVs. They all sell 4-wheelers. They all sell ATVs. There are 4 companies. But this guy over here that's running Hunters Club Tavern, that's a company that we just started as a hunting company with a hunting goods store that we just opened. You guys can go online and you guys can check out some of those products. We have a lot of good products online. So it's Hunters Club, HUNTERS. Club, CLUB, Tavern, TAVERN, at bigcartel.com. So you guys can go look that out. But it is a hunting goods store. So we have a lot of things. We will get some ATVs on there. We have some the number one crossbow that's in the nation. We sell that online. I believe it's a TRX crossbow. It's the number one crossbow in the world that we have online. So we have a limited supply. So you guys go in there and you guys check those things out. And it's around hunting season as well, And I apologize, but I don't apologize to those who are against hunting, But if it's not for you, it's just not for you. But for the animal lovers out there. But when I share my story, my brand becomes memorable in the crowded market. When people see that all these places sell ATVs, but they can, I tell my customers a story that can be relatable. They can engage emotionally with that brand, that my hunting store. They can say, oh, wow, I can tell them, well, I came from a small country place where we hunted, we rode horses, and that's what inspired me to make this store. I never really had the chance to, do this or do whatever story that I tell. I won't tell you the whole story of why I created that store. Well, it is inspirational. It's just a homage to where I came from, a small country town. where we did ride horses and ATVs, and it wasn't really an educational system there. It wasn't really anything to do as children there. We had no electronics or technology. It was more of a town that was that engaged in religious activities, kind of cultish, but we're not going to go into that. But there is a story that people can relate to, and it can make them identify with your brand, with you as the owner and your products, and make them want to buy from you as you use the storytelling as a sales strategy instead of you just bringing up all these statistics. Can statistics be a good way, a great sales strategy? Absolutely, because it basically presents data to the customer and says that look at this data. This is what we've done last year, and this is what we've done this year. Our sales has went up 20%. And we figured out the reason why our sales went up 20% is because our customer service is such a peak performance that people love to buy from us. And we want to give you guys that same experience, but not only for customer service. We want you to understand that our customer service, it even goes as far as doing follow-ups to make sure that you're enjoying the product and see if we could exchange that product. So there, those statistics that are data-driven decisions made from those statistics, that could be beneficial to any company. But storytelling is more, I believe, more of a human to human interaction and experience that draws people in just from simple conversation that people can identify with, that the world has got away from because of social media. There's not a lot of face-to-face interactions anymore. There's not a lot of heartfelt interactions anymore. The world has people have become so desensitized to things that really truly do matter. And it's like that in a lot of countries. You could find a place that's, let's say, a country like Pakistan, Iraq, where they're killing Christians, and they're blowing up these Christian schools. Don't you know that those kids that grow up around war? And I'm not saying that in specifically. There's outside of Christianity, there's places that hurt and harm children and families because they don't comply exactly with what those militia groups want them to comply with. So I'm not just saying this for Christian families, but what I'm saying is this: those kids who grow up in a war zone, they are more desensitized towards compassion and mercy and things that the human being needs, that this world needs, because they grew up inside of a war zone. So, and I'm saying that's what social media is unconsciously doing to Americans. It's making them desensitized. You can watch a video of someone getting jumped, and you can watch a video of someone getting killed or raped online. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And not just movies. There's not even just social media, but the internet in its entirety. It's causing people who haven't physically experienced these things, just watching those things rewires your brain and helps you, makes you to become desensitized to things that really truly do matter, that people really should care about and really should fight for. So, so this is the best sales strategy. But when I share my story, my brand becomes memorable in a crowded market. People can identify with it and they can go back. I've noticed that a good story builds trust faster than my sales pitch ever could. A good story that people can identify, that builds trust with the customer way faster than a good sales pitch. We got these for $39.99. If you get them today, we'll break it down and finance it for you for $5 a month or whatever, $5 for so many weeks and stuff like that. You got this extravagant sales pitch, and you're trying to just sell the product instead of trying to get people to identify with the product by telling the story of how this product was created, how it could be beneficial to you. It's not just some simple sales pitch for you to get customers money, but you want to make sure that you can tell them a story so that they can identify with and they can engage emotionally. You can get I won't say a hook, but you can have a, let's say, a agreement. They can agree on an emotional level with your story, and that moves people. That moves the heart of people. So the number one talk point that we gave you is why storytelling sells better than traditional marketing. And number two is that how I structure a compelling brand story. And I'm going to tell you how I structure a compelling brand story. Out of all the companies that we have, they each have their own unique story. And you know why they have their own unique story? It's not just that me, myself, created all these companies. They're under one holding company, and we just did it because we felt like we wanted to hit every area, every market in the business market. We want to make a company for every sector in the business market, and so that we could, dominate the market. That's not why we done it. But when I craft a story, I always start with the problem my audience faces. It has to be relatable. I always start with the problem that they face. I can't sell pools, you know what I mean? I have a pool store, Paradise Pool Planet. Like I said, we'll keep you updated on the payment processing for that particular store. And then again, no one really has pools, but we have pool covers. We have winterizing kits for you guys' pool, but what I'm saying is I can't sell pool products to someone that doesn't have a pool. I'm trying to make a pool relatable to someone who doesn't want a pool and doesn't have a pool. So you don't need a pool cleaning kit. You don't need a pool winterizing kit. You don't need a pool cover, and you don't need a pool because you don't even have a backyard in some of these big cities. You don't even have a backyard. So why will I try to craft a brand? I cannot craft a story that is relatable to that person's problem. So there's a no-go. Some people would try to use a sales pitch to sell to people who don't even have a problem in that area, and that's when it becomes manipulation. It becomes manipulation and deception when you try, and then some people, you can manipulate them. They'll say, okay, well, I'll take two of them. And then when they get home and the adrenaline wears off, they say, why did we buy two pools when we don't even have a backyard? You know what I mean? Our daughter and our son-in-law, they don't even want a pool. Yeah, they're not even home. So you can manipulate someone into buying a product, and then when they get home, and that will kill your brand loyalty, that will kill your customer loyalty, and that will kill your it was just, I hate this word. I don't even know if I could say kill on YouTube, but anyway, but that will lower or decrease your brand and customer loyalty because they feel like they were manipulated into buying a product that they didn't need, and you only can, when they come to their senses and start to think logically again, after the excitement has worn off, after the adrenaline goes down from a good sales pitch, they're going to say, why did we buy those things? Like, we just wasted money, and then you probably don't want to take them back, or if you did take them back, want to get your money back, you probably wouldn't be the same day. You might have to wait a week just for the embarrassment of being manipulated. But some people, or they just the same day say, man, you know what, well, we don't even need those, we would like a refund. But you do not want to manipulate people into buying products that they do not need, even, or try to craft a story and try to make it relatable to someone that it's not relatable to. Some people, you can get them to buy products and buy certain services that they don't need. Later on, they're wasted money, and then you have lost longevity with a great customer or a great person. Maybe lead someone in the right direction to the services and products that they need can create a relationship that's based on longevity, and that person can always come back and say, man, hey, you sent us to another car lot instead of your car lot. You didn't have the car we need, you sent it to another car lot. Man, that car lot, they did amazing, and we just want to come back and we just want to thank you for everything that you've done. That creates brand loyalty and customer loyalty just by being honest and helping people. If you have a product that is not relatable, do not try to manipulate people into buying it. So like I said, when I craft the story, I always start with the problem that my audience faces. So, and also say that, okay, we have this something small, you know what I mean? We have this particular product. What problems are you facing? Find a product that can be beneficial to that product, that problem, and help in that area where the problem is. And as I start to craft a story that's relatable, I have this product can not only help be beneficial and can last for a long period of time. You don't want a one and done product that, okay, it helps it right now in this area, but 2 weeks later, there's no need for it. There are some products that's needed like that immediately to execute a problem or take care of a problem immediately, and that's the only reason you need it. But you also want to make sure that your product can last for a long duration of time. It doesn't just go out of style when the trend goes out. You know what I mean? So whatever products that you have or services that you have, even when the trend for that product dies, you still want to find multiple ways that product can still be beneficial to the customer or to the client long after that, and give them multiple ways and ways that they can still use that product and it be beneficial to them or the family. Okay, so I position my brand of product as the guide, not the hero. So a lot of people, when they sell products, they may seem like, no, dun 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 dun, I have exactly what you need. You know what I mean? And this product is coming to save the day. These services are coming to save the day. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to present your product or your brand as a guide. This is going to guide you to where you need to go. We'll see that you're trying to get from point A to point B. What this is going to do is going to take you there step by step and help you to get there and navigate you to the place of happiness, navigate you to the place of comfort. It's going to help navigate you to a place of satisfaction. It's not just going to come in and save the day and all of your problems are going to go away, because you're going to always need a savior if that's your outlook. But what this is going to do is it's going to get you from the place that you are right now and guide you to the place that you need to be. That's where you want to position your brand and your product as a guide, not a hero. So I know I show the transformation as well. I show the transformation of a product as well as it being a guide and not just a hero. I show the transformation like, let's say, that it has real results. It's purchased by real people, and then it creates real change. It creates real change. So you want to show the transition of how these products work. I keep everything authentic because today's customers can spot a fake story immediately. You keep everything authentic because people can spot a fake story immediately. And I want to tell you something like that. And then this is for people who are purchasing products. Now, people can spot a fake story immediately when they are spending their money. But I'm going to tell you something. The world is so fake. You know what I mean? People wear so many masks. The world is so inauthentic that people have become subject to loving fake things. It's just some people, I've seen a guy sit around and tell fake stories that were so mind-blowing. I had another guy came up and said, man, I'm just tired of all your amazing stories. He said, man, I'm tired of all your amazing stories, because he knew that the stories were fake, but they were interesting, man. They had us all drawn in, but we knew they were fake because we were like, man, there's no way you went to the moon in a Cadillac, man. But we were just like, man, how was it? Who did you meet? It was so fascinating. It was like, then this other guy just came up out of nowhere. He was like, man, I'm just so sick of all your amazing stories. But people can spot a fake story from a mile away. But I want to let you know something as well, because the world has become desensitized in such a manner that there's rarely any excitement. The excitement that when people find excitement in something, they usually hold on to that thing, and it creates a cycle. They never come. Once you find out who has the best macaroni and cheese in New York City, that's the only place you go to get macaroni and cheese. You have now limited yourself from experiencing other foods, and then you just go to the same places every day. There's a place that I get my coffee from every day. It's just because I identify with that brand or that store. But that doesn't mean that I limit myself, and I may walk past another coffee shop and then just go in and say, you know what, today let's do something different. I don't shut myself out and limit access to other options and other varieties of products and services that's available to me here in New York City. But there is a primary location that I would like to purchase my items from. But that doesn't mean that I limit myself to gaining access to similar items or products that I love. So I want you to know that, I keep everything authentic. You know what I mean? And that's why I like that store, that brand, and the people that's there. I keep everything authentic because today's customers can spot a fake story immediately. But once again, like I said before, some people are in love with fake. They don't want anyone to tell them the truth. They don't want anyone to tell them what's real. Some people will try to kill you, murder you, be jealous and envious of you if you tell them the truth. And that's just the truth. And that's just the truth. You can tell someone, say, man, hey, I'm telling you this because it's the truth. Some people will kill you if you try to I keep saying that word, but some people will try to unalive you if you try to wake them up from this made up trash reality of that's the way the life works. Some people would rather sit back and talk about the rich get richer, and the poor get poorer, but they would never want to hear about you saying, well, I'm going to a workshop about learning about tax liens. If we both put $200 together, we can buy us a tax lien and we can get that tax lien. And if they never pay that tax lien, we get the property. Well, let's get the property, and then we can either turn the property into a cash cow so we could both create generational wealth. But if you try to tell someone like that, they will immediately shoot that idea down to buy a tax lien for find a tax sale online. I forgot what a tax auction. They would not put the work in, do the research. Okay, there's going to be we don't even have to go to Florida. We don't have to go to Florida to get a tax lien in Florida. They do an online auction. All we have to do is we just have to bid for, okay, we bought a tax lien for $200. We go online, look at the address and see exactly what that tax lien is for. It's for a little plot of land, or it's for a little plot of land in a place in Florida. Okay, $200 for the tax lien. Someone doesn't pay the property tax on that property. Now we have the property. Now we can get the deed for that little plot of land. And then what we do then? Once we get the deed for that little plot of land, we see it's in the neighborhood. So what we'll do is we will contact the city directly and tell the city, okay, we see that we have a plot of land in this neighborhood that we want to sell you guys. We believe that it would be great for a park or some type of recreation a project that's in that area for that neighborhood and for the children in that neighborhood, and we would like to sell you this plot of land so that you can create a recreational area for children, or maybe a dog park for the people that's in this neighborhood. What do you say? So they may be able to buy it, and you can sell it. You got the property for a $200 tax lien. You can sell the property for over $12,000, $15,000 off a $200 tax lien. But the tax liens do have a expiration date. Some can last up to 2 years. It just depends on when they haven't paid the property. So someone cannot pay the property tax for a year and a half, and it has a 2-year expiration date, and then you come in, you buy the tax lien, then 6 months later you have a brand new property. I've known people that spent $5,000 and they received a $250,000 house because the family didn't pay the property tax on it. So they spent $5,000. The people, they didn't pay their property tax. They lost a $250,000 house. So you pay $5,000 for a tax lien on a house that they didn't pay the property tax on. Now the house is no longer theirs. You know what I mean? The house is yours. You will receive the deed for that house, and they will have to move out of that house legally. Have to move out of that house because they didn't pay the property tax on that house, and you now own that property. So you know what I mean? So that's happening. But some people, I say all that to say this: some people they love fantasy land. You try to tell someone that it's possible to, man, you see, we always come here to the bodega. Don't you know that it's possible we can own our own bodega? Do you have let's get some other people involved. Your sister has good credit. You know what I'm saying? Let's me, you, and your sister, or the people we're around every day. Let's all of us. She has good credit. Okay, if we give anyone 25% or more of the company, they are able to make decisions as in leveraging their personal credit for us to get a business loan. That means that they're just using their personal credit as a vouch that they are able to pay for this loan, but it doesn't affect their personal credit, and it will still ultimately be up to the business to pay the loan back. The loan is going directly to the business, with the person just leveraging, just basically showing proof that they have good credit standing, even though it's not going to affect their personal credit. They're just using it as a vouch, and they can get a quarter of $1,000,000, so they can get $80,000 to start a business. So you guys can start your own business. Yeah, you'll just have to split up in the operating agreement. You'll have to say who owns what percentage of the business, and then when you do your profit and loss statements, or whether that you guys do, you take out dividends, or if you pay yourself as employees, if you want to, just however you feel to structure that business afterwards. But you can create generational wealth. There are strategic ways to create generational wealth where you don't have to live in poverty. You just need the knowledge and the information to move your mindset from it's always going to be like this to, you know what I mean, to a place that you can think. You can think in a strategic way to create cash flow, simple cash flow for yourself. But keep everything authentic. Number 3, how I use storytelling across my sales process. Okay, so this is what I do. I integrate micro stories into everything: my website, emails, ads, and social media posts. I share customer success stories with me and also other people as well. I usually do a company spotlight or entrepreneurs spotlight. I had the Tech Gazette, which was a newspaper or a / magazine article that I posted every month to highlight a company, a specific company, or a CEO of a company, or maybe an entrepreneur, to highlight, to give other people credit that are doing great things as well around the world. We had someone from India who ran Vortexian Tech. We had a guy that was from Nigeria that created educational software by using AI that he's going to launch across Africa. Was it Greg? Man, a great guy. I was still in connection with him. I was going to get on that educational project with him, but at that time I didn't have it in our budget to do any investing in that area, but I would like to get into education as well. So it was a complete educational system, to the point where the kids had individual profiles. They had little avatars, it had like their homework list and stuff like that. But, I wish I can get him on a podcast and let him explain it to you guys. I believe that, a lot of people would invest in that particular software for the educational system, not only in Nigeria, but here in the U.S. That reminds me, I may need to contact him. But I share customer success stories to strengthen credibility. So I tell my founder story or a mission to create a to create a, let's see, I guess emotional connection. It's or just to identify, I guess, that's why I tell my mission, my founder story, how I became an entrepreneur, things of that sort. And I'm going to tell you, some of my best days were birthed from my worst pains. Some of the worst things that happened to me actually turned out in my favor and made my life better. It's hard to believe that, but man, without pain, without some of these disappointments and disagreements, and without some of these rejections, your life will not be exactly where it needs to be. Man, there's been so many doors closed. I've put in so much work, and so many doors have been closed in my face, but each one of those closed doors led me down the rabbit hole so in a soul searching way, and it helped me push me up the ladder in a physical way towards my goals. So it helped me to go deeper within and without. It helped me to rise higher without. So, on the outside. So, some of my toughest struggles, pains, some of the things that people unjustly done to me for no reason, out of jealousy, envy, want to break you down, kill your spirit. Some of those things were the things that built me into the person I am today. And it also helped me to increase my emotional intelligence and awareness of being compassionate when it comes to other people's lives. When something like that unjustly happened to me, it gave me compassion for it not to happen to anyone else. It didn't make me bitter or mad. It's just like I said, man, I would hate for anyone else to have to experience something like this at the hands of people like this. So man, that's, people want a better world. People want everything microwaved and want it, but they don't want to be part. They never want to be part of the solution. They want to be part of the problem. If you can't control your emotions, you can't be part of any solution. You're not a solution type person. You're a problem. You know, if you can't control your emotions, someone walks in, if you're a woman and another woman walks in with a brand new pair of Dior's on, and you like, oh, you don't have the money to purchase those, but instead of just saying that those are some nice shoes, you probably say, oh, I bet she sold herself to get those shoes. You don't know what this person does. People automatically go into becoming a problem for people they don't even know, instead of trying to understand the person, don't know the person. When you can't control your emotions, you're just a bitter person, and you're just a jealous and envious person. It's hard to dig people out of that emotional rut and break them out of that cage that they put themselves in. They're in an emotional cage of bitterness. They're in an emotional cage of anger. They're in an emotional cage of frustration. It's hard for you to you can't prosper being locked up in a cage full of jealousy. You've caged yourself instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that I do what I need to do for myself. I can't worry about this guy's suit. I walk past people. I live in Manhattan. I walk past people with the nicest things every day. Do I focus on what they have? No. I say, man, you know, I like it. I admire it, and then I move on with my day, and I continue to focus on what I need to do to move the needle forward and to move the ball forward in my own personal life and for my own personal goals. Because I can sit there and talk about them all day. That's not going to change my life. I can sit there and I can hate all day, but that's not helping my life. My life is, after I've done all the talking, after I've done all the gossiping and all the hate, my life, when it's all over with, my life is still stuck in the same spot. None of that gossiping got me a new Bentley. None of that gossiping put $30,000 in my bank account. None of that gossiping taught me a new skill on how to day trade. None of that gossiping taught me how to, how to negotiate a sales deal or negotiate a business proposal, or even gave me the skill set on knowing how to write a business proposal for a company. None of that taught me how to read a profit and loss statement to make sure that my company is making a profit. We're just not selling profit. None of that. After all that gossiping, all that stuff, nothing in your life changed. Nothing. So, that is a waste of time. Jealousy is a waste of time. I believe that if something triggers you that makes you jealous or envious of another person, I believe that is a indication from God Himself saying that you don't have to worry about that. I want to do that for you. I want to give you, if you're willing to go on this journey with me, I'm willing to help to build you to the place that you need to be, where you don't have to be jealous. You know what I mean? Something. I'm gonna tell you something, and then we're gonna end with this one right here. Now, this is storytelling now, and this is part of my entrepreneur story, but I want you to understand something. Just keep moving forward. Keep doing what you need to do in your business. Keep doing what you need to do for your own individual life. Don't worry about what anyone else has to do. Stay laser focused, tunnel vision focused on your goals, and block out everything else. You do need to be aware of your surroundings, but block out everything else and move forward. Because I'm going to tell you this, the same amount of hate and jealousy an entrepreneur has to endure, the people who dish it out can't take it. I've seen someone talk about someone like a dog, and then soon as two other people start to talk about them, they're going crazy. They trying to defend themselves. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. I don't know what they talking about. They trying to defend themselves, but they just spent 2 months of their life breaking down and talking about someone else. But as soon as somebody tells one little small lie about them, they're going around the community trying to clear their name up with people who don't even care about them. Somebody said this about you, and then now you're going around to every apartment building and everyone in the neighborhood, and man, you heard about what they said about me, man. I didn't do that, man. Who cares, man? Who cares? You can't even dish out the same stuff that you take. That you can't even receive some of the same criticism that you dish out every day, judging and trying to judge other people's lives. So man, just stay focused. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. And this is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and visions. We will see you guys here next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, it will be next Saturday, not Sunday morning. But I did want to make sure that you guys got this episode. And this is called Storytelling as a Sales Strategy, which I believe is the number one sales strategy here in each business sector and in the business marketplace. And I believe that it will be very beneficial and effective in each one of your companies when you're selling your products or services. It makes it where the customer or the client can identify emotionally with your product or your service through that story that you're telling for sales. So tune in here next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.